Alright, so it is week 8 of the college football season, and as you know, I do this every week. Is that a real injury? I'm not sure. But yeah, let's get started. So currently, it is 17 seconds left in the first half, and Florida is winning 27-13. Florida got a TD off an interception to make it 27-6, and then when they kicked out to Kentucky, they ran it back. I think 99 yards, I think it was, and they got a touchdown. So now it's 27-13, and I imagine, assuming nothing changes, that Florida will be adding more points to the board along with Kentucky. Graham Mertz. Graham Mertz is not playing, and then DJ Lagway has been playing this entire game, and he's done pretty well, I think. The coach has been using his legs and his arms in a very good fashion, evenly, I would say, and he's shown off his arm really well, and DJ has been able to make some plays down the field, and this defense has also been able to actually stop some things. I think they've gotten, 2 interceptions and at least 2 stops since I started watching the game, so we'll see. Looks pretty good. On to the next thing. Cam Ward in the Miami Crimson, but the Miami Hurricanes are still undefeated. I think Cam Ward's Heisman chances are like 100% at this point. Even if he were to lose the rest of his games, I think he's put on enough to show that he deserves it. I think that even if the running back from Boise State is good, I don't think that is going to be enough to move him over the edge. Giving Cam Ward the Heisman this year would make all the sense in the world. This is his last year in college football. He started off at community college, went to Washington State, and then he went somewhere else, I think, and then now he's at Miami. Or he's been at Miami for 2 years and Washington State for 1. I can't remember exactly. But he's been in college football for a fat minute, and he's been doing things for a fat minute, and at some point they're going to give this kid his flowers, and I think it's going to be this year. Definitely should have taken the Heisman bet when I first thought he was going to win the Heisman, but I was just like, that's not guaranteed, but, oh well. Cal, speaking of Miami, Cal is not good in the ACC this year. I kind of expected them to be better than they were, especially given the fact that they were able to beat Auburn on the road, but seemingly they have not won a single ACC game. They lost today to Wolfpack, to the NC State Wolfpack, and NC State, I think, has taken a giant step back from last year, and they definitely should have won that game. Cal, that being Cal, and they didn't, and it's just real sad. I think I know nothing about either team, but I feel as though Cal's the better team, and I think the loss to Miami broke Cal, and I think that they will not win a decent amount of games for the rest of the season. And I think that's really sad. Indiana continues to be undefeated, however. Indiana is a team that, nice punt. Last year was not undefeated. I think they were 5-7. But they got a new coach, the coach from JMU. I think it's Singeti. And he's somehow turned this team around from a team that's to a team that's wow. I will say that I think when Michael Penix was the QB there, I think Indiana was pretty good, and by pretty good I mean a tier below good. So I should say not pretty good, just good. And Singeti has been able to get this team over the top. So good on him, good on his coaching staff, and good on the players. They deserve it. USC loses to Maryland by 1 point. I think I fully expected USC to win this one, and when it came down to, at some point during the game, I checked the scores, and it was USC was leading by, I think 1 or 2 scores, and I was it'll probably be close, but I don't really think USC is going to super run away with it, but I do think they're going to win, and that did not happen. At some point, I think I looked at the stat sheet, and it was with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left, USC had a 97% chance of winning. And now they had a 0% chance because the game's been over for 5 hours. And, they're just not, they didn't win. And the last game I'll cover before I just get into general stuff is Tennessee versus Alabama. Alabama is a terrible football team. Better than my team, but a terrible football team, and not base it off what they did last year or what they've been doing for the past 20 years. Like, they're genuinely not a good team. I think that the quarterback play is holding them back significantly. Nothing against Jalen Milroe, but if he can't throw the ball to the middle of the field, I think that that's pretty good. It's a pretty good indication that like a lot of your playbook is going to be limited to either short passes or long passes or QB runs, and I don't think that's good for any team, especially that team. While he can throw to Ryan Williams and he's only 17, it still doesn't really matter if you can't actually put together a drive, sustain a drive, and win that drive. I think it was 7-0 by the end of the third quarter of that game, and then at some point both teams decided to actually try, and Tennessee came out on top. So good on Tennessee. Sucks for Alabama. Maybe they'll figure it out next year. Maybe they won't. I think they're going to have to, because I feel like a lot of the Nick Saban era players are going to have to leave. Not that they're bad players, but because it's kind of like when you go to a friend's sleepover. When you go over to a friend's to sleep over, like at your house, you have very strict rules. You got to follow what your mom does. But at this sleepover person's house, you can do whatever the fuck they want, as long as it's not like murder somebody. Like your rules are pretty vastly. And I think that's kind of what's happening here in the Alabama locker room. It's like we had this strict regiment for like so many years, and then suddenly we have this guy who apparently is a player's coach or what have you. And I don't think that works. I don't think you can go from strict to player's coach and still expect the same outcome, even if you have 5 stars all over your roster. So I still expect Alabama to get a lot of 5-star recruits for the remaining years, for like maybe 3 or 4 years, but at some point someone's going to fill the void, whether it be Kirby Smart at Texas, oh my god, or Kirby Smart at Georgia, or Steve Sarkisian at Texas, or whomever takes over Florida. I don't know. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Anyway, for the other games, Georgia is beating the shit out of Texas, which maybe is expected. I don't know. And the other games that were played today weren't that interesting or amazing. Yeah, that's it. All right. Have fun. Goodbye.